Welcome to the Wellness Insights podcast with the Jordan brothers. I'm Nathan.
And I'm Sean, and today we're going to be talking about cannabis in nature, how you can enjoy the benefits of being outside and incorporate cannabis into that.
You call it using the green in the green.
Using the green in the green. That's how we do.
Well, just a little bit about us. We are just sharing our experiences based on, our personal experience, and we're not offering any medical advice. So please consult with healthcare professionals when making decisions about your health and medical stuff. So, anything you'd like to add about that?
This is for entertainment and educational purposes only.
That's right.
And if you enjoy our videos, give them a like, hop in the comments, let us know what we could do better, give us ideas on what we could do, and subscribe for more stuff. We should be uploading more frequently here in the future.
So, using green in the green, the healing power of activity in nature and how to incorporate cannabis. Sounds like two really good things to me. Being outside.
I'm down with
it. Enjoying nature, on two fronts there.
Yeah.
And as the weather begins to warm for the most of the world, we find ourselves wanting to head outside more. While we may feel that it's nothing more than just us looking to grab a bit of fresh air and shake off that feeling of being cooped up all winter, or just looking for a change of scenery, some of us may be interested to find that our desire for greener views and more fresh air brings along with it a host of amazing benefits. Well said, Sean.
Oh, well, thank you, Nathan, for saying it for me.
I did. And we also see the New York State Department of Environmental Conservation. They list numerous references that praise the benefits of spending time outside and in the forest makes us healthier. And how long do you think you spend outside, Sean, if you had to guess?
During when it starts warming up, and for me that's like 45 degrees or higher. I try to at least get an hour outside.
Yeah,
every day if I can.
I personally like spending time out in the cold myself as well, or like fall.
Yeah.
But I don't spend enough time outside during the summer. I kind of like, taking the trash out. That takes me about 5 minutes. So I need to up my summertime, the summer and springtime.
You're reverse bear.
Yeah.
You hibernate in the summer.
Yeah. But definitely. I love air conditioning. I love it more than heaters, so. But, living in greener areas, it's associated with low probabilities of cardiovascular disease, obesity, diabetes, and asthma hospitalization, also mental distress, and ultimately your mortality is lengthened if you spend some more time outside, so. Anytime the kids want to go outside, definitely encourage that. That's a good thing because, they'd benefit the most, from some outside time.
Oh,
and,
yeah.
it helps your stress if they're outside, too, for a little bit.
And the thing that's cool about all this is it's not just about, like, how we feel, although that's really important, how we feel about being outside. It's there's metrics here, like there's some measurable data that shows that like being outside actually improves your health. I think there's even some data, I don't know if we're at this point yet or not, but there's some data showing that there's a direct correlation between groups of people that spend time outside and lowering medical expenses.
We didn't have that on the slide, but that is interesting.
Yeah, it's like a dollar for dollar almost. Like the amount of money they I forget where it was, what state it was that did the first study But for every dollar of funding they put towards parks and hiking trails, there was a direct correlation with like a dollar or two drop in medical expenses for the population of the area.
Yeah, there's a population of people that probably they yearn to be outside and can't really, because they have to be somewhere for a job or something like that, or
there's just not good spaces. It's too urbanized.
Yeah, for sure. That's why it's good to go, figure out where your parks are. Even if you have to drive like an hour or two, it'd still be worth it to spend an evening out there.
Mm-hmm.
So we have a product highlight today because it's summer. Obviously, we want to highlight the popsicles. They're a really good, refreshing, cool treat for the summertime.
Yeah, I love them outside sitting on the porch in the sun, man.
And they come in all them familiar flavors from our childhood. When you get that net of popsicles from the Piggly Wiggly.
Like them Otter Pops or the Freeze Pops.
Yeah. So this one is 25% off popsicles, and it's valid through June 10th to July 11th. And it's a good way to, switch gears from your normal gummies that can melt. These, they arrive already like melted, not melted.
Yeah.
But they come in like in liquid, and you freeze them when you get home. So it'd be a good alternative for people that live in hot areas that can't order the gummies when it gets really hot. But that code you use at checkout is Potsicles25, and that's through June 10th to July 10th, so a whole month.
Oh. And we'll, if we can, we'll repeat that at the end here.
Yeah.
But another thing that's good about these popsicles, they are water-soluble THC. So your conventional edible is a fat-soluble THC, which is why it takes so much longer to kick in. A water-soluble can kick in as little as 30 minutes. And if you don't want to freeze them and eat them like a popsicle, or you want a smaller dose even, you can just add a little bit to a drink, like get you some Kool-Aid or some juice or something like that and pour a little bit out.
Yeah.
It's a good time. I've done that a few times.
You can put them in, you can cut them open, put them in ice trays, and then put them in a drink like that.
Yeah, you could.
For time delayed pleasure.
That's a good idea. Or you could even make ice and make you make you like a Slurpee at home.
Oh yeah, like a slushy, like a
slushy. Yeah.
All right, moving along. The American Public Health Association's policy statement on improving health and wellness through access to nature states that access to nature has been related to lower levels of mortality and illnesses, higher levels of outdoor physical activity, restoration from stress, and a greater sense of well-being and greater social capital. And it further acknowledges that people evolved in natural environments, but urbanization, industrialization of agriculture, and a shift to sedentary indoor lifestyles have distanced many people from nature, depriving them of positive health benefits associated with natural light, green views, local biodiversity, natural landscapes and gardens, and parks near their homes, schools, and workplaces. So as time goes on, we are thirsting for nature a little bit more as society evolves.
Well, if you think about the correlation with, we got all the physical, benefits of just walking and breathing fresh air and absorbing sunlight, but you also have, with the mental health issues mounting, it kind of goes right alongside the urbanization of everything.
Oh,
yeah. If you're stuck inside at a desk job and you get in your car and drive home and get stuck inside your house, it can cause depression, not just the mundane nature of what you're doing,
Oh, yeah.
Like, you're not in touch with where you're from. You're not in touch with the nature. You're not around the plants, and there's something about, just walking through a field or even
Yeah.
gardening or something that just really brings your mood up.
Yeah, I think we brought this up before on the podcast, but the kids are saying go touch grass when they think people are
Yeah,
stressed out a little too much. They're like, go touch some grass.
that's a good one. I like that one a lot.
So, moving along, cannabis in nature. Using cannabis has been shown to share a lot of the same health benefits as being in nature, such as reducing stress and anxiety and depression, reducing pain, reducing inflammation. Bringing your favorite flower, pre-rolls, vape, or other cannabis products on a hike, camping, or just out in the backyard can compound the benefits you feel and add another layer of chill to your already relaxing experience.
Popsicles.
Potsicles, that'd be perfect.
Literal
Next
chill.
exit, well-being.
And there's something awesome about sparking a pre-roll while you're out in the woods.
Yeah.
I don't know what's up with that, but I mean, I personally like vapes or dry herb vaping, but I like smoking when I'm out in nature. I don't know if it's like it feels more primal or what, but it's pretty cool.
Well, what we could talk about next is the health benefits of nature exposure. So stress reduction's one, which we covered. It can lower the cortisol levels, the stress hormone, and promote relaxation. Cortisol is also linked with, I think if you have higher cortisol, you gain weight or have trouble burning the fat, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, it makes you hold on to your weight, and it just throws off the balance of your main hormones in general, which can cause a whole other host of health issues in itself.
Yeah. It can, nature can elevate your mood, increasing feelings of happiness and reduce symptoms of depression. So, that's like one of the oldest cures in the book. If you're having a stressful day or a situation, you just go for a walk, a thoughtful walk.
Mm-hmm.
And the cognitive benefits, spending time in nature can improve concentration, enhance creativity, and boost problem-solving abilities. That's why the Buddha sat under the tree, He didn't go down to the McDonald's and pop open his laptop,
It's you think about it too, like when you're in these nature settings, if you incorporate, you were talking about laptops, if you also incorporate like an unplugging.
Oh, yeah.
You turn off your phone and you're out in nature away from all the extra EMF.
Yeah.
Machinery
also puts out like frequencies like just by their fans and everything that you hear 24/7. So, much less the signals that you're talking about as well,
Oh, yeah.
Like air conditioners sitting outside. I remember one time one of my neighbor's air conditioners was giving me a headache because it was just like all I heard all the time. And I thought about my air conditioner on the other side of the house and wondering if I was making my other neighbor upset.
Air conditioners, the sound of them drive me crazy. That's what determines where I sit outside.
Yeah.
Is whether or not there's an air conditioner on.
Also, getting further out into nature, you can even escape other things like light pollution, see some parts of the sky you didn't know exist, I remember we lived around the city for a while when we, the first few years of our lives, and I was used to seeing all the light pollution, and then when I get out into, the nature, away from all the lights, you can actually see parts of the Milky Way, So it's like
the moon even looks bigger, from what I remember.
Yeah,
everything
it's
just looks more clear and close.
Like a blinder's lifted, from your senses.
Yeah.
And here's a word that I just learned about thanks to Sean's diligent research: biophilia. Humans have an innate connection to nature as a phenomenon known as biophilia. This connection may be the result of spending the majority of our evolutionary history closely connected to nature. Yep, and
Yeah.
tents back in the day, some of them didn't have doors, so you were really connected to nature. You be sometimes a wind would kick up, you wake up, look up at the stars, and you're like, "Where'd my tent go?" I don't know.
Well, you think about it too, like there's just concrete everywhere, man. You know, that
Yeah,
like, and that's a recent development too. You know, even as late as like the early 1900s, there was little, very small amounts of concrete around. You know, just covering. Well, in the U.S., I mean, you had like cobblestones and stuff like that in Europe for a long time, but
well, one
um,
could argue that like cobblestone is a little more natural,
natural,
you
yeah,
know,
that's true.
than the like processed asphalt and cement and stuff. So
That's totally true. I didn't even think of that.
I mean, they just grab a rock from the river. It looks cool and looks like it'll fit, and they just jammed it in there. So, also finding green spaces and reaping the benefits of nature exposure can be as extravagant or simple as you choose. Going camping, long hiking trips, day hiking, fishing, uh, going to your parks and gardening and picnic. Well, don't garden at the park. They probably be like, What are you doing? Why are you planting? Why are you planting cucumbers by the slicky slide? What's your deal, man? Like my peppers are coming in.
It's like, get them kids off my pepper patch. Jeez, boy.
But yeah, you
Gardening,
can.
like just around your house, like out in your yard.
Yeah.
Just like, even if you only got a little square yard,
Heck,
getting
there's
your
this
hands in the
trend
dirt.
I'm seeing where people are buying wildflower seeds. As far as I know, that there's no like harm in that. But they buy a big bunch of wildflower seeds and just seed them around like Johnny Appleseed everywhere. Like different parts of their city that don't have any vegetation. They're like, here you go, you can have some flowers. Um,
Wow.
you can also bring nature indoors. Uh, potted plants are pretty cool. I heard that snake plants are the ones that produce the most oxygen, I think, right?
Hmm.
They're pretty
Yeah, I
nifty and
think
very easy to take care of.
they're really easy to like clip and if you
Clone
want
them.
to take one and move one to the other pot, well, that's cloning, right?
Yeah, I think our dad did
Yeah.
that with. He had one called Godzilla.
Then he made Baby Godzilla.
Yeah, they were just big. It was a big snake tree or snake plant, and he just cloned it to baby Godzilla.
Hmm. Yeah, and you
And
can just kind
go
of
ahead.
open your house up and let the sunlight in, or you can get these like the UV lamps, get your
Yeah,
sunlight.
yeah.
I,
Some
I
of
really
these
like the
tips will work in the
essential.
winter time.
Yeah, that's when I was looking this up. That was part of what I was thinking about was the wintertime, but also like people that work from home or something,
Hmm.
like a combination of those two things. And I was actually looking at like textures and scents. Like aromatherapy is good on its own. Like, yeah, it's got a whole slew of health benefits, but
Yeah,
just for replicating like nature in your house, and then textures like getting rocks and pieces of wood and stuff like that, like getting more wood, like cutting boards and stuff for your kitchen and decorations and
yeah. Reclaimed wood is pretty nifty too to build things out of. Like or
hmm
like just some like you could be hiking and find yourself like a really nice piece of like burled wood or something and make a shelf or anything out of it, and just bringing that in gives you that feeling. And yeah. So some other tips, let's see. Color therapy. So like, green and yellow, they're mood lifting, and they can be incorporated into your home decor. Um, engaging your senses and focusing on the present moment to appreciate your surroundings, says a guide on healing power of nature. And consider grounding via a mat or other grounding device. And those are pretty interesting things that I just learned about.
I wouldn't mind doing a whole episode on grounding.
Yeah. I don't know
There's a lot.
The idea behind it. I don't know if you know enough to elaborate.
I know some. So the idea is that the Earth has a frequency, like an energetic frequency that it puts out. And when you're outside and you're barefoot or you're in, close proximity, there are some shoes that allow for you to do that without being barefoot. But your body kind of, becomes in sync with that frequency.
Yeah.
And that's our natural frequency. So what the grounding mats do is they use the ground on your wall socket in your house, just the ground, to connect to the grounding rod that your house uses, and it can transmit that frequency, electromagnetic frequency, through the mat. And you can put them on your desk and keep your arms on them. You can put them under your desk and put your bare feet on them. They have sheets for your bed, so if you want to sleep like you can get the benefits like you're sleeping on the ground, but on a comfortable bed.
Well,
there's a lot of really cool products out there for grounding, and there's some. I don't know if we listed the benefits, but there's some good benefits to it too, like anti-inflammatory and stuff.
Yeah, I actually didn't get to that slide yet accidentally.
Oh, you're good.
It says inflammation, like it helps with inflammation. It helps better sleep, decreasing pain, regulating immunity, enhances your mood, faster wound healing, more energy, and autonomic nervous system control, and cardiovascular health. So,
and the research is just starting with it, but there's some promising stuff coming out.
That's interesting. You can do that with or without the mat. Just to clarify, you can go outside and ground yourself, or you can use a nifty product.
Yeah, if you're outside, it's best to be barefoot or have a special pair of footwear that'll let you ground, because you have to be conducted. It's got to be conducted through your feet. It's a current.
Yeah. Well, that's pretty much all we have today, and I mean we could go over some stuff again. We got some time. If you have any thoughts to add.
I just think it's important to like getting outside. I think we view it as recreation or as a choice, but I think for humanity, it's really a necessity. And I think just figure out a way to incorporate that, even if like you're bringing the outside in, to your space. Like it's really vital for humans to be connected to the earth.
Yeah. Yeah, you kind of just made me think, like, I almost, like, I'm moving to somewhere that I have an outside space of my own now, and I thought about it as like a treat almost, like I was rewarding myself, but it's really like, I think we need that. Like, it's a necessity for sure.
Or
like
starving for it.
Yeah, going outside or to the park on special occasions, when in reality you need to do it regularly, to keep your mental and physical health in line.
I kind of think of it like, would you if you had a vitamin D deficiency, would you take vitamin D as a treat?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
I'd love to treat myself to feeling better. That'd be a nice little treat.
Feels like I need to feel a little better.
I think that's another thing is like our ideas of rewards and treats are sometimes do harm to us, you know.
Oh yeah.
So maybe I don't know, maybe there's like a balance you gotta strike there with rewarding yourself with things, you know.
Oh yeah. Maybe I mean, you know, it's depriving yourself can cause that kind of spring back sort of thing where if you don't indulge in certain things, then you might indulge in them more, you know, eventually. But I think having that balance of treating yourself to things that are good for you, like, you know, if you're going, maybe look at it like this, like if you have trouble eating donuts, maybe eat your donut and watch the sunrise.
Yeah, take that
You know what I
donut
mean?
for a walk.
Yeah, take it. I used to do that with my coffee. I always used to I'd get my coffee in a mug and be like, I'm gonna take my coffee for a walk.
Yeah.
And I'd just go walk around and sip my coffee because normally I'd just be sitting at the table inside.
That'd be a good way to look at it. Take your coffee for a walk. That could be a T-shirt idea.
Yeah. But yeah, other than that, I think the popsicles, they're a really good thing. They're really cool. They're definitely worth checking out. There might be
the time to do it.
Oh yeah, especially with the heat, not just having a nice cold treat, but you know, beating the whole gummies do melt, and so does chocolate.
Yeah.
So it's one of those things that's pretty difficult to control when you're, you know, storing stuff up. Even if, like you say, you say you get it home just fine, but you want to take some gummies hiking, they could melt in your bag.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously, if you bring a frozen popsicle, it's gonna melt quicker. But you know, if you mix
a little
it into a
lunchbox
drink,
with some ice
fine.
packs in there.
Yeah. But they're pretty cool. And they're another thing I would say is just keep an eye out too. There's some talk about something cool happening with the popsicles here soon.
Ooh.
So if they just keep an eye out for that new variation of the product.
Oh man.
And then I would remind them, what was the coupon code again?
It's Potsicles 25, and it's from June 10th to July 10th, 25% off.
Nice, that's a good deal.
Yeah, it's another good reason to try it if you haven't. It's a little bit, it's 1/4 less risk for you.
Yeah, and they're only like what, $25 as is.
I'm not entirely sure, but I know that they fly out of here, so there's definitely a fan base.
Oh yeah, every time we get them, they're gone.
Yeah.
All right. Well, other than that, I don't really have anything else.
All right. Well, we thank you all for joining us, and hopefully we'll get the next episode out quicker. We're just trying to figure some scheduling things out, but we should be able to come back stronger and more consistent for y'all.
Yeah, and like we said at the beginning, if you like it, hit like and subscribe and turn on the notifications so that when we do put a video out, you're one of the first to check it out. And we encourage everyone to put something in the comments, even if you're just saying that you like it, or if you want to give us some feedback, it's all welcome.
Yeah, and maybe, who knows, one day we might read a comment on the air. You never know.
That would be cool. I would like to do that eventually. That would be really cool.
Yeah, if I was prepared to do the idea just now came to me. If I was prepared for that, I would totally have done it today.
Well, that reminds me, actually, we got an email. It was from our first podcast. And if I don't recall the name of the person, I don't have it up right now. But if you're listening, the person that sent in the email about insomnia being different from getting a good sleep. I totally agree with that. And I want to do a separate episode just on sleep disorders. So we'll definitely refer back to that email, and we appreciate the feedback.
Yep, definitely. Well, it was nice talking to y'all, and I'll see you around, and you too, Sean.
All right, y'all have a good one.
Bye-bye.
Bye.